Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Right now, let's go to Dr. Marc Siegel.
Absolutely.
And some other breaking news.
Yeah, some big stuff on the vaccines. Talk about this. This is interesting. What's the real story, Dr. Siegel? Because it looks like there's a reverse course on the Moderna
Did
vaccine.
somebody make a phone call?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't you. I checked with John Catsimatidis. He made no phone calls. Probably somebody from the pharmaceutical industry, I would guess. By the way, I have to say about Donald Trump International Airport, I guarantee you, you are not going to be able to get in there with a fake passport. That I can tell you.
Yeah, by the way, for sure. That is guaranteed,
Well,
Dr.
last
Siegel.
time I went to Palm Beach Airport, he was in Mar-a-Lago, and my plane was diverted. And I was going to Mar-a-Lago that night, and my plane was diverted to Fort Lauderdale Airport. And I complained to the president that night. He says, well, why didn't you call me? I would have opened it up for you.
Somehow I completely believe that story.
Yeah, I do too.
You know what the sad thing is? It's a true story.
Yeah, I believe it.
Some of John's best stories are true, Doctor.
Yes, yeah, a good portion, a very good portion.
They're all true.
So tell us about this. At first the FDA said, no, we're not approving it, the mRNA vaccine for flu. And then all of a sudden, we're going to review it.
Well, so listen, here's what I think about this. I probably differ with you on this, John. We've talked about it before. I don't think the problem with the mRNA platform is an essential problem with the platform. I think it's an interesting ingenuity. I think that it has uses. I think it can be pivoted and turned around quickly. I think it has coverage beyond a single strain, so it might have value. The problem with it during the pandemic was the mandates, that people got forced to take a vaccine that was an emergency use authorization, and they had this feeling of something being stuffed on them without them feeling that they knew what the side effects were. That gave it a bad name. That gave it a black cloud over it, and Kennedy has increased that. I don't think that should influence what happens when a new version of it comes out. Yes, it should be studied carefully. Yes, it shouldn't be seen as a panacea or oversold or, God forbid, mandated. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have value. We got a problem with flu vaccines. They got to be changed every year. They aren't as powerful as we would like. They work, but look at the flu season we had this year. Everybody got it anyway. The vaccine keeps you out of the hospital. So looking at new versions of it, I think, is a positive. I think that but
the technical word is mRNA,
right?
mRNA, where it has become an untrusted item.
That's what I just said. What I just said. But that has to do with how it was handled politically before and how it was forced on people rather than whether it has value or not. And again, there's a lot of jockeying back and forth with the pharmaceutical industry. They don't want to create a vaccine and have the FDA stuff it. So there's a fight that goes on behind the scenes between Moderna and the FDA, between regulators. Vinay Prasad is involved, his biases or his beliefs. All of that is what explains the back and forth. It has to do with before it was an FDA policy. They're being very cautious about new vaccines. They're being very cautious about any mRNA vaccine after what happened, how it was forced. But then I'm guaranteeing you, though I don't have inside information, that Moderna pushed back.
Yeah, I agree with you, Doc. This is Rudy. I felt like they were forcing this on us, and that's why I stayed with Johnson & Johnson. Old, tried, and tested. You hit it right on the head. I mean, because then I was hearing the horror stories. People who had, one of my friends had to have his pacemaker replaced, and then a knee got infected from a knee replacement.
And some people got blood clots.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Well, that's true, too. The blood clot problem is real. And I think that, we should have learned our lesson that full disclosure and really looking at these things carefully is really important. Instead, they created a public distrust. But unfortunately, that's bled over to really essential vaccines that we need too.
Doctor, sometimes at 3:00 in the morning, I'm watching movie shows at 3:00 the movie on some of our favorite channels, and they say, "Well, take this, but you may die from this, you may die from that, and you may have permanent, you might have permanent damage.
You might go blind.
You always die. You always die.
You know, they tell you about everything. Well, I mean, who is doing this?
Right, the side effects are scarier.
There's a very famous episode in Saturday Night Live where they spoof a commercial and they say it raises the dead. That's a disclaimer.
It's called direct-to-consumer advertising, and it's only legal in 2 countries in the world, New Zealand and the United States. And if you looked at New Zealand lately, there's hardly anyone around to watch TV. So I don't think
they do make a great Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, they do, actually. They do, actually.
And they have great trails, too, great mountain biking trails, and they're really a beautiful place. I'm not trying to diss them at all. But when John Cassavetes is woken up at night by some direct-to-consumer ad, he better call Dr. Siegel. That's all I have to say.
Very important. I think we all need to call you at that hour. Dr. Siegel, thank you.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah, sorry, it's 3 a.m. Is that okay?
John, you can always call me at 3 a.m. I'll always take the call.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Siegel.
Nice to be on with you.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially healthcare. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.